Hey, good morning. I'm back at the shop again. So we got a couple projects going today. I'm starting on a new table project. This is just for the fun of it. We'll sell it after I'm done, but I had these pieces that I cut out of my uncle's tree a year ago. Finally getting around to actually making a table out of it. These actually came out of one of the limbs. So there's a lot of character to it. I've got to do a lot of epoxy work, but I think it's going to turn out to be really cool. I'm going to do metal legs on it, so something simple, but we'll kind of follow that project this week.
We're going to start getting this the second coat of epoxy. And then I'll get first coat put on these two. This is going to take several layers to get me there, but I think the overall result will be pretty cool. So we've got the next two pieces with their first coat of epoxy on here. It's definitely going to take another coat. Okay, so we've got the tabletop flattened a little bit more with the planer, and we've got it jointed and ready to glue together. I've dry fitted it. As you can see, I've got dominoes in here. This is all ready to go together, so I'm going to go ahead and get this glued up, and we'll be one step closer to finishing it up. So there we go, all glued together. Glue joints all look good. It's going to be a pretty cool grain pattern in this. So we've got it out of the clamps. I ran it through the drum sander. Figured I'd spare you the video on that. That's pretty boring. But end result's pretty nice so far. I still got some little spots here to fill in. So I'll get it cleaned up, do that, and I'll bring you back. is cleaned up, just some mineral spirits on there. It brings out the grain pattern. Also lets me see most of all the imperfections I still gotta fix. But it's looking pretty good so far. Again, I think I'm gonna finish this in Rubio chocolate. So it'll give it kind of a walnut tone, a little bit darker than walnut. And that'll kind of make any of this black epoxy blend in a little bit better too. But all in all, I think this is looking pretty cool. Very, very wild grain, lots of character. Just, I don't think you can appreciate it probably in this video, but pretty cool. Oh, here it is. Next morning after I put this epoxy on here, got all the remaining voids filled, hopefully. So there it is. Got the epoxy sanded off. Now we'll do all the hand sanding, get everything trimmed, and then I've got breadboards to put on here yet. Those will go across the end. Just kind of hide the end grain. I also tend to make the table a little more stable, even though it's very stable as is. But we've got her nice and flat. So start with 80 grit and we'll get her all sanded and we're getting close. So here we go. We got her all sanded down to 80 grit. Everything's nice and flat. I squared up the edges. Everything's nice and square. Got rid of the bad ends. These pieces here are going to be the breadboards. So I've got those marked to cut those where I want them cut. And then we'll go on from there. Right. So here we go. We got these cut to length. These are going to go right here. Now these don't really get glued on because you can't glue end grain and expect it to stick for very long. So what you have to do is you have to create tenons here that get glued into this piece because it won't grow this way, but this tabletop will grow this way across the grain. So these will be fit real tight. Tenons will be fit really tight into this so they can't move, but at the tabletop they'll be wider so that that thing can slide in between there, so when this table grows it won't get in a bind, and it'll help because of seasonal movement. If it's tight, that'll make that board do all kinds of weird things if it can't move. So that's what I've got to accomplish. So I'll get all this marked out here real quick, and then we will get that put in place. I'll get half of it done today, and then that glue will have to dry in these, and then tomorrow we'll pin them in from the top with dowels, and then I'll keep everything nice and solid, flat, and straight. Okay, so I've got all our spots marked where I'm going to cut a tenon in.
And those all correlate to these marks here. And we'll get that done. Okay, same deal on this piece. Put our domino holes in, and I'll be using the wide setting for this so I get maximum movement. Here we go. Almost missed one. Okay, so as you can see, got all our tenons cut in here. And I will have to go back, and these here will drill a hole back. I'll mark those out, drill those on the drill press. Size for probably a 3/8 dowel to go through there. And then the tenon will get pinned on that end, or will get drilled as well and elongated a little bit so that that whole thing can shift around. So there's our tenons drilled and slotted. See that hole's a little oblong so that wood can move. We've got these tenons cut. We've got holes drilled in for the dowels. We did that on both sides. That hole does not go all the way through. So this will just wind up being kind of a decorative spot right there on the top. And serves a purpose too. But we'll go ahead and get our tenons glued into the tabletop. And that'll be it for today. So each one of these, I bevel the end. Hopefully you can see that, so that it makes it go in there a little bit easier. But I need the full width, make it pull tight, if that makes sense. Okay, so I messed up. I messed up. I didn't drill these tenons correctly. I didn't drill them far enough away from this edge here, because the idea is that it wedges this into that, pulls that tight. So I wasn't able to make it do that, so I had to tear it all apart, put new dominoes in, and then I decided to go ahead and just pin the dominoes into the table solid. That will keep them from shifting at all. There's no way that's going to pull loose glue or anything else. They're glued and pinned. So then this other side, since the domino hole in this side here is much wider than the domino, it's like 1.5 the width of this. So I shifted this over. You can see they're offset at the moment. I drilled that. So then I'll shift this back the other way, drill it again, and that will give me a nice elongated hole. I'll line it up where I want it, and I'll repin it, and then that'll be that. I think I like this method much, much better. This just goes to show you that with every project, you figure out a new way to do things that maybe nobody else has thought of. Maybe people have. But it kind of goes into the craftsmanship that sometimes you just have to problem solve and still make it look nice. So that's what I think I've done. I'll have double pins here, which will be kind of decorative, but it'll also be very functional. It'll make this end very strong. So I'll bring you back after I got this all drilled and repinned. Not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but I can see right down in the hole, and I can see the edge of 2 of my holes. So I need to re-drill that one more time. That'll give me a nice oval hole, and then I'll pin it. Again, I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. I'm trying to give you some light in there. Hopefully you can see that. But basically it's going to give me a hole like this so that this can slide in there. So now you can see we got a nice smooth seam. Those pins will look nice once they're all finished. And then over here, same thing. Now we can go about putting this bevel on here. It's only going to be about 5 degrees or so, just enough. And then I'll round all the edges, and then that'll make it a really nice, sleek corner without having this hard corner edge either. Everything will get rounded off, so it'll look really nice. So there you can see the bevel on there. It's just very, very slight. But gives the table a much sleeker profile because you're not seeing that flat edge on against you. So it's still 1.25 inches thick, but it doesn't look that thick. Okay, so I've got this all sanded and ready to finish. The bottom side is actually already finished. This is the top. And right now I just got some mineral spirits on there. I wiped it down to make sure it's nice and clean. Mineral spirits makes a really nice tack cloth. Not leaving any residue. It'll evaporate off. So now just sit back and watch the show while I put the final finish on. There it is. It's all finished. I've got metal legs coming for this. Those will be here next week. Probably do another video just on those. Just a short video. But this is done. So today's Friday. That's the end of the video for today. Hope you all enjoyed watching this table be built. Sorry it's such a long video, but it is what it is. Everybody have a good Labor Day weekend. It's going to be gorgeous weather here in Indiana. Hopefully it is for you guys too. But we'll see you on the next one. Be sure to like and subscribe.